How's it going, everybody? This is your Astrology Horoscope for the weekend of May 4th and 5th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys had a wonderful week. It's been pretty amazing. I mean, we're about to move into this balsamic pre-new moon once the moon comes into Aries here, coming into Sunday. Don't forget that my Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus reading sale is available, and I decided that I'm going to leave it available until June 21st, or the summer solstice, because I looked at the astrology, and that's about the time when we're going to be moving into different territory. So this whole Jupiter-Uranus energy with this new moon in Taurus and Venus and Mercury, Mars will come into Taurus going into June. You know, this is going to be expanding for not only the next few weeks, but also for the next 13 years, right? The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happens every 13 years. So anyway, we are gearing up to move into this new moon territory here. And this weekend, this moon in Pisces is bringing in some whole new spiritual inspiration, right? And I think inspiration can strike out of nowhere. It can seem like our ideas and our thoughts and our visions are just kind of coming to us in a really fast, electric, kind of pulsating way that can be really expansive. This moon in Pisces will sextile Uranus at 22 degrees. It will make a sextile to Jupiter slowly after that. Not slowly. The moon moves pretty quick. About 2 degrees every 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So this moon is going to be making a sextile over to this area where this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction has happened. So it's like, on a divine level, it's like the synchronicities that are kind of showing up in our lives this weekend, and definitely new connections that are being made, you know, that are kind of coming through unexpected places, you know, people that you never thought you would connect with, can be very beneficial and very expansive. And this weekend, you know, it's like, wow, a lot of new, amazing, exciting things. I think this weekend, a lot of unexpected, beautiful things can start to show up in our lives. And this new moon that we're about to have in Taurus is really going to be kicking off all the goodies, all the goodies with this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we just went through. And Neptune is now at 29 degrees. This is the first time since Neptune's been in Pisces since 2011 that we are going to experience this, right? This is the first time Neptune's been at 29 degrees during this transit. So Neptune goes through one sign about every 15 years, right? And now we can start to see or understand, maybe not see, but feel this kind of spiritual evolution that we've been going through. If we think back to 2011, we think back to 2012, because Neptune came into Pisces at the beginning of 2011, in February 2011, I'm pretty sure. Retrograded back into the end of Aquarius, and then when 2012 came, Neptune moved into Pisces, and it was there for good, right? That's what we're experiencing with Pluto, right? Pluto's only made it to 2 degrees of Aquarius. It will retrograde back into Capricorn once we get to September at 29 degrees. And then once it goes direct in December and January, we are in Pluto and Aquarius for good. So it's like this similar kind of energy of like, you know, Neptune's not quite done. It will eventually get to 0 degrees of Aries, but not this year. Next year, we'll see that. You know, when Saturn and Neptune conjunct in Aries at 0 degrees. But there is this kind of sense of feeling this weekend of a lot of new ideas, a lot of new spiritual and creative and beautiful ideas that are coming through in a very exciting and somewhat extreme way. Uranus is dispositing Pluto. So this kind of electricity that's coming through our subconscious this weekend is really extreme. But it's like, if you harness that electricity and that uniqueness, Jupiter is going to expand wherever it touches, right? So when this moon sextiles Uranus, it's like, this is when inspiration strikes. This is when new ideas really start to form. And I think, too, it may not be just a whole new idea. It may be things that have been brewing and stewing for a minute, right? That now, with Uranus sextiling with the moon and Jupiter sextiling with the moon as well, in this area where this amazing rare transit occurred, I think this sense of connectedness and wholeness and divineness is very strong. It's very potent this weekend. And, I think new ideas that can really help expand our beliefs, our philosophies, on a spiritual level, there's massive expansion this weekend. And, whatever kind of creative ideas or, even just visualizing, like the things that we're manifesting just from visualizing. Visualizing isn't shit without the work, right? Pisces and Neptune is what makes it possible to be able to see the vision and visualize and be able to, bring in things that do not exist into the physical world. But Pisces cannot do that alone. Taurus makes things real, right? So when Taurus and Pisces get together, it's like Pisces is like, I have all these amazing, beautiful ideas. I don't know where they come from. And Taurus is like, okay, well, let's make it real. Let's make it possible. And with Jupiter and Uranus here, it's like we're starting to see all new possibilities. We're starting to see connections in the fabric of our reality that, we're always there, but you never noticed. Now we can really see where we're headed. And when this new moon happens, coming into next week, on the 7th and the 8th, bam. This is when a whole sense of this new, beautiful, manifesting energy is going to really start to show up in our lives, and all the best things are coming through May, through June, right? So I decided I'll leave the reading sale up until the 21st, because it's, when all these planets are going to follow up through this area. The sun is about to be here next week. Venus will be here in about a week and a half. Mercury, and then Mars. It's like every time that area is going to be activated in a really unique, powerful way. And we're all going to be experiencing massive expansion in our lives. And, the new connections that are coming through and the new ideas or the things that we may not have been paying attention to that really kind of just stand out. And it's like, wow, that's been in front of me this whole time and I haven't harnessed it in the way that I could. It's finding new ways, so there is this kind of divine support of being able to find new ways to find solutions, find new ways to make our visions and our dreams come to reality in a physical way. That's what Taurus does best. Taurus is the master manifester. Pisces is the master creator, right? On a creative and spiritual level. So to bring our creative and spiritual visions into physical reality, going into this next week and going into this next month and a half here, that's what it's all about. Saturn is in Pisces too, giving us a reality check. It's like, hey, you want to bring your creative vision, your artistic and spiritual visions and goals to reality, you got to do the right things. You don't want to get out of touch with reality. You don't want to get too far into the rabbit hole. Right? Pisces gets lost in the rabbit hole. And I love to go down the rabbit hole myself, but Saturn in Pisces is definitely testing us. It's like, are you going to play it straight? Are you going to keep it clean? Or are you going to get sucked into the muck of escaping reality and not seeing things for what they truly are? And definitely too, it's like things aren't always what they seem to be, but that's not where we're focused right now. I think now it's like, damn, letting the beautiful creative vision come through, even if we can't fully understand it, and allow this Taurus energy to ground it, to bring it in and to see it and actually act upon it and make it real. And Mars is in Aries. Mars is what allows this manifesting energy to really happen. Because, man, like I said, it's like Pisces can sit there and visualize and meditate and, see it in their minds all day. But without Aries and Taurus being able to actually Aries, actually doing the fucking thing and going after it and taking action and making it happen. And then Taurus utilizing its resources and its skills to actually do the work to make it real. It's like, we're all lined up here. Pretty much every fucking planet except Pluto over here in his lonely little corner of its hidden little space, which we don't really know fully what's going on here yet. It's like everything's in Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. All the planets. Except Pluto. But, that's what we see with Pluto. We see all these fucking protests. We see all these, political agendas. We see all the shit. That's what Pluto is. But where we are actually at as individuals is over here on our spiritual mission, on our vision quest, actually making it fucking happen with Mars and Aries, and then all this amazing Taurus energy making it real, right? And this moon Neptune... this moon will conjunct Neptune on Saturday. And this is when it's like the spiritual vibration and the synchronicities and just, this subconscious power starts to show up. Things can get a little overwhelming, especially at the 29th degree of Pisces. This is fucking crazy because we've never seen Neptune in our lives at 29 degrees of Pisces. It's been 155 years. So, the same day that this Neptune comes to the last degree of Pisces, for the first time ever, the moon is going to come here and conjunct with it. This is very significant. This is very important. And this is reminding us, hey, the last degree of Pisces is the last degree of the entire zodiac. Right? So, emotions are heavy. We've been through a long spiritual journey here. It's not over. This moon is reminding us that, yes, we've taken in a lot. There's a lot of weight. There's a lot of subconscious weight. And Saturn here is been testing us spiritually, big time, And it's pretty wild because when Saturn conjuncts Neptune, and it will come next year, it'll conjunct in Aries. It won't conjunct in Pisces. Right? And I keep coining the term of when Neptune comes into Aries, Saturn comes into Aries, and they conjunct. I've been saying this. I don't know if I've said it on here before, but to me, this is the rise of the spiritual warrior. And why I say that is because when Neptune's in its ruling sign of Pisces, it's like, just think about it. Think back to 2011 and 2012. If we think previous to that, nobody was talking about astrology. Nobody was talking about coconut oil and fucking seed oils in your food. We weren't on that frequency yet. When Neptune was in Aquarius, we were in fucking technology land and, social media rising up and, computers getting faster and the iPhone coming out. It's like all this new technology was coming at us that we were just like, whoa, look at this shit, and coming out of nowhere. And then Neptune goes into Pisces and it's like rock and roll music is pretty much dead. EDM takes over. Fucking festival and drug culture takes all these Neptunian things, and it's like people start talking about spirituality and health and fucking all the things, right? All the things Neptunian and Pisces started to really come out 2011, 2012. So it's like we've been on this spiritual mission. And there's two sides to that, right? It's like, are you wearing a fucking white robe and some bullshit and pretending to be spiritual and doing all this crap and just projecting this image? That's the dark side of Neptune. Or are you actually putting in the work and doing good out in the world, helping and serving others? Because that's what Pisces is all about, is selfless service, and the divine brings us what we need when we are able to provide a service for people that could be helpful and beneficial to the quality of existence. So this Moon-Neptune conjunction at the 29th degree of Pisces, it's like there's a lot of emotions that we're going to be going through. And we may not be able to understand them because they're coming from a deep place. It's coming from the past. Pisces and Neptune rule the past. So if things from the past start to come up, don't be surprised. If emotions from the past start to rise up in an extreme way, don't be alarmed. Like, you got to ride it out. You got to learn how to surf. When we're in Neptune Pisces land, you got to be good at surfing, right? Yeah, I could riff on that for a minute. But this moon eventually will come into Aries and will conjunct with Mars. So this is the first time since Mars has been in Aries that the moon will aspect. So it's like, you know what? Even when these heavy emotions come up, when, Neptune moves into 29 degrees and the moon conjuncts with Neptune at the 29th degree, and it's just like, what are these feelings that are just coming up? It's like, then when the moon conjuncts with Mars, it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, we're going to feel ready to actually, like, do something about it and move forward in a powerful, positive way, because no matter what, at the end of the day, it's like, we are expanding into whole new territory. And we can't really see it. Once we get through this new moon, and we start a new moon cycle at 18 degrees of Taurus, right in the same area where this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happened, we're going to be feeling pretty fucking good about where we're moving to, And this weekend is action-packed, It's very creative. It's a very spiritual kind of weekend. And it's also action-packed. And it's also very karmic, This moon we'll keep moving forward, and coming into the evening, going into Sunday, the moon's going to conjunct with the North Node. So it's like, damn, a lot of karmic things are going to start to come up this weekend that are connected to this eclipse, right? This North Node is still at 15 degrees. Mercury hits 19, 20 degrees where this eclipse happened, and now Mercury will conjunct with Neptune as the moon is conjuncting with the North Node, and then will conjunct with Mercury and Chiron all throughout Sunday, right? So karmically, it's like we're so ready to move forward, and it may not feel like 100% yet. In our minds, in our bodies, we're ready to move forward, but there's still some things and still some things we need to say on a personal level. There's still some conversations that need to be had, If there's some things you got to get off your chest this weekend, you got to speak it. This week, Mercury's going to be coming out of shadow. This is a big deal. This week is a big deal. This is the week coming out, after this weekend, coming into next week with this new moon and Mercury coming out of shadow and all that great stuff. Like, this is one of the most important weeks of 2024 on a positive note, right? I just really think, like, there's a lot to say. We have a lot to get off our chest. This is the last time Mercury's going to deal with Chiron this year. Mercury's retrograded. It started retrograding at 27 degrees. Okay, before it went retrograde, it conjuncted with Chiron. Got to 27, went retrograde, came back, conjunct Chiron, got all the way back to 15 degrees. Conjunct with the North Node, went direct on the North Node, right around the eclipse. And now this is the final time where Mercury is going to be connecting with Chiron. This is the final time. So, and I've been saying this for over a month now. We've been trying to put the pieces together. Our identities have been fucking pretty damaged, From whatever that source is, you can look at it on a higher collective level, but our identities and our idea of self has gone through a lot of shit. And we've been trying to understand it. And this eclipse triggered a lot of feelings and emotions and a lot of karmic shit in our lives, and every time these nodes get activated, I feel like this node, the North and South node, have been sitting at 15 degrees for fucking ever, and the Black Moon Lilith, here it is back on the fucking South node, while this moon's on the North node. It's like, it's like we can't let the dark shit fucking pull us back into, shitty relationship stuff, you know. I feel like this is a big theme this weekend, is just being very blunt with your words, saying, I don't want this anymore. I don't need this. This is not for me. You know, I can't be myself, right? This North Node and this Moon and Mercury and Chiron, it's like it's trying to help us rebuild our identity and who we are. You know, and this weekend, it's like we're getting the final message to really understand where we've been, you know, caught. I don't want to say stuck, but where we've been kind of caught, like a trap, right? The South Node could be like a trap. With Black Moon Lilith here, it's like a dark trap, right? Or a trap of envy or control, or, you know, some underlying thing that's just kind of nagging. You know, there can be these things, or particularly people that you're in relationships with. Whatever kind of relationship, I don't know what it is for you personally, but that's what's coming up a lot. And when this Mercury conjunct Chiron, it's like we're going to start to understand in our minds these things a lot more that we've been going through. We've been trying to put it together. You know, Mars eventually will get to the same spot, and then we can actually do something about it and really fucking put it into action and move forward. And, you know, really coming clean and coming clear, you know, mentally clear about what we want it to look like, what we want ourselves to look like, what we want our relationships to look like. You know, we don't want to be stuck in this South Node trap, right? So this is a great weekend. This is an amazing weekend. Saturn's coming to 17 degrees. This is all new territory with this Pisces transit. We're in all new territory. Jupiter comes to 25 degrees. Like, you know, we've been here with Uranus. You know, so actually we have not. I take that back. Uranus went retrograde at 18 degrees last year. I apologize. But yeah, we're moving into whole new territory. Things from the past can start to pop up, emotions and feelings, and maybe people that you know you don't want. But also being able to let go of relationships where, you know, it pulls you into a dark place. It pulls you into a place where you don't need to be, where you don't want to be, right? And that can be conflicting. But Aries, you know, loves to just take conflict head on first and fucking do what it's got to do, right? You got to say what you got to say with this Chiron Mercury conjunction this weekend for the final time. You know, and finally being able to like rationalize and put these things together. You know, we know what we want. We know what we want for ourselves. So we can feel that confidence start to come through this weekend. And this has been a long process, you know, and it's good that this is coming before this Taurus new moon that's going to start activating this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction and all the good shit that's about to show up in our lives over this next month and a half. Because get ready. But now it's like we can really feel like we're in a fucking good place, you know. Even though this Pluto retrograde's over in his fucking little corner lurking, you know, we don't want to let that pull us into its hole, right? We want to stay in the goodies. This is great. I mean, I feel really good about where we're headed going into the summer here. I feel really good about it. You know, I think we're all experiencing some amazing, new, exciting, and unexpected shifts in our lives, you know. And it's a beautiful thing. You got the World card. This is all the fixed signs, right? When we're talking about, you know, where we've been moving onwards towards, you know, and it's really about connecting with people. You know, it's like we want to connect with people that are good for our soul, that are healthy for our soul, you know, but we want to fucking hold our own power. We want to hold our own value. We don't want to devalue ourselves and just go along with something that is not of what we know our worth is. And I think with this Chiron Mercury conjunction for the final time this weekend, that's also a reminder of being able to verbalize and say, it's like, no, like, this is what I'm worth. This is my value, you know. This is my identity. You know, I can't bring myself down to your standards, which is that South Node Libra with Black Moon Lilith. You know, and finally having the confidence and the courage to say, this is my boundary, this is my line. I'm not going to move above or below, you know. You can move above it, but you got to be honest about where you're at in your own evolution, right? So there's a whole new wave of energy coming in here, and I'm fucking stoked. I'm super stoked. This first quarter of 2024 has been fucking extreme. It's been great, you know. It's much better than 2023. Coming into 2023, it was like Mars retrograde in Gemini, squaring Neptune. It was fucking sloshy, right? It was not what we got at the beginning of 2024, you know. But what it was is like putting in the work, putting in the effort. We had Mars in Capricorn coming into 2024. Now Mars is in Aries. We're getting some fucking awesome Mars energy. Venus is in Taurus. We have Neptune in its ruler at the last degree. We've never been here before. Mars in its ruler. Venus in its ruler. Dispositing the Sun. Jupiter. Uranus. God bless. Thank God. I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's going to be a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Allow the new ideas to come through so we can really start expanding into this new territory that we're moving into. Because once we hit this new moon, it's a whole new world. And I pulled the world card today. So if you're new here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment, say what's up. You can find me on all the social media platforms, my Instagram, TikTok. All the links to my platforms are in the description of this video, and my Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus reading sale, which will be live until June 21st, is available as well. There's a few dates at the last week of May and going into June. I'm going to leave it open because we're still going to have a lot of planets in Taurus up until the 21st of May, or June, I'm sorry, that are going to be activating this area. And I really want to emphasize that we're not going to get this energy again. So I would jump on that shit ASAP. The link to my booking website is in the description of this video as well, along with all of my other platforms. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. God bless.